Okay, welcome to the Quorn's kitchen. Today I'm making my salad dressing, and my friend Felix had asked me about my recipe for my salad dressing recently, so I thought I would document, since I need to make some for myself today, I would document the process in case it's useful for anybody else who may want to follow this, what I consider to be a kick-ass recipe. Using minimal oil. You could use water instead of the oil. I have done that, but I've decided that just a little bit of oil is okay. We need some good oils. So, the base of this is lemon juice, and as you can see, that's a lot of lemons, but there's limes in there as well, because my lime trees are going off at the moment, so I have so many limes, and I'm just going to freeze it. So I've done some in here that's almost full, and I've got some 3 other lemons that I also have already put in the freezer that will be used to make my hummus. Maybe I'll document that too. It's very simple to make. So one of the things about these 2 jars, this is what I'm going to be making, 2 jars of this from one blender. Now, fundamentally, because there's no oil, it's basically lemon lime based. I'm going to be using limes now. I know limes aren't as acidic, but I have so many limes, I've got to use them. So that's just the least of it. So what is my secret? Well, so much liquid, right? You'd think, God, that's going to be so acidic, so intense. I decided butter beans or cannelloni beans. I use them to thicken it. I don't like legumes very much. I won't eat beans, but I'm eating legumes now through my salad dressing because I'm using the beans as a thickener, and the taste of the beans doesn't translate very much in the dressing, so what you're getting is all the other flavors, which are garlic. I am the sultan of garlic. This is the garlic paste that I make. I do it in my bullet. I will get a whole bag, like 10 heads of garlic, peel them all into the knobs, so that gives you a huge bowl full. Then I cut them in little pieces, put them in a bullet, then I cover them with olive oil, just cover them, and then I shred them. And I make about a jar, and then that jar lasts me quite a while because the olive oil, and in the fridge it just keeps. And so then I have this garlic, which is a staple that I use for the hummus, for the salad dressing, and for any other miscellaneous things I might decide to do in the kitchen. The other thing, herbs. So this is, it's not the great Italian basil. I've run out of that in the garden, but I've got some other normal ordinary basil growing, and some garlic chives because I don't have a lot, so I wanted to add extra greens. So when I don't have basil, I buy the basil in the tubes, and I'll usually put about 2 of these tubes into the salad dressing. Dijon mustard, cayenne chili. These chilies, actually, I grew them, I dried them. They're not cayenne chilies, but you may do with what you've got, and some salt. So how are we going to start? First of all, I'm just going to rinse off the butter beans because they come in a very gluggy liquid. So we just pour them into the strainer, like so. So these are cannelloni beans, this second can. And not as big as the butter beans, but they will do. Then just on the tap water, just give them a good rinse. Alright, that'll do it. Butter beans. Okay. So, the way that I'm going to start is I'm going to put half of my juice that'll do it. And I'm going to put all my herbs in. So I'm going to do these guys first to make sure they get really, really well shredded. Here we go. So I want them really shredded. So there you have it. So you can see that it's turned green, and normally if you can, I wouldn't use this kind of pasty stuff, but hey, you use what's available. And so if you can't get fresh basil, and these days everything is difficult because everything is so expensive, so I'm not big on waste. So I just cut that tube in half. And whatever was left, it's like the story of the Zen monk who was, as an example, the fact that they are not big on waste either, and he was chasing a cabbage leaf down the river as it was floating, and it got away from him with a big stick. Anyway, all right, so we can see, done. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the rest of my ingredients. So I'm going to start with the Dijon mustard. And look, I don't measure things, I just go for it. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a taste test after I add the rest of the lemon, before we add the butter beans, and that will give me an idea of how the different flavors are cutting through: the mustard, the garlic, the salt, the heat, the salt, the garlic. Now you're going to probably be somewhat shocked when you see the amount of garlic I put in, but that's just me. You don't have to, you know, you can just follow your own degrees of, yeah, look at that. And maybe a bit more. There we go. Okay. Garlic, Dijon mustard, now the salt and the cayenne. Now, in order, this is what I put. Because it takes a lot to cut through all of that, and especially when you consider the butter beans. And I'll do the same with the chili. Bang. So, most people may not be able to deal with my levels of heat, and because the garlic is hot as well. Levels of heat and, maybe even the acidity. So you can just adjust this, just trial and error. You can see already I'm nearly full up. So how much oil is going to go in there? Not a lot. Okay, so now that I've done this, I'll give that mixture a taste. And it will let me know if I need to add more salt and you can see it's completely just totally liquid. Wow, that's amazing. Oh, even that, just like it is. However, needs a bit of salt. And I haven't really experimented, but you could, add some sweetness. Acidity, saltiness, sweetness, heat, the 4 things. But I'm not huge on mixing sweet, and I do to a degree, but look at that. Now with the beans, I'm more, where am I going to add the oil? Well, maybe I'll add the oil in the actual jars, because this may not fill those jars. We'll see. And you have to let this run. You really want those beans to get shredded. Okay, what do we got? Now that's a little thicker, and adding oil would thicken it up even a little more. Beautiful. You need, if you're like me, and your fundamental diet, 85% is salad and fruits. And you eat that every day. No breakfast, a salad at lunchtime with either hummus and maybe a small steamed potato, and fruit at night. Then you're going to need a dressing that you can deal with every day, and that's every day is going to, give you that special feeling. And this is it for me. So look, I don't think I want any more lime, so this is going to go in the freezer. Here we are. And I've got a lot more to juice after I've finished making this video, because you saw how much I have. So now the tricky part, pouring into the jars from the blender, can get a little messy. So I might just put the jar, just get this out. These were passion fruits that a friend gave me, and I just added them. We'll see. Added them to the lime, to the lemon and lime juice. Okay, let's see what we get. Bang. Yeah, this is the mess. Woo! Excuse the fingers. Now I'm going to fill up this one similarly, up to that green label. See how I go. Okay, so I'll go a little higher. And now I'll go a little higher still on this one. Okay, so look, that's given me just a little bit of room to add a bit of oil, which will thicken it, give it a little bit more of a flavor. And of course, here I go again, I'm not big on waste. So, every little bit that I can get out, I'll put it in here. Okay, that will do it. So now my friend Paul Vella, he might not agree with this. I don't know where he's at these days. But he was like, no oil whatsoever. But look, come on. This is the amount of oil I'm putting in each jar. It's probably less than a tenth. Maybe a tenth. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shake the living crap out of these guys. And the oil will mix in. And this salad dressing should just keep in the fridge for a really long time. But as I said, you know, if you're a guy like me who eats salad every day, then you go through it. For me, maybe like a jar like this lasts me, I don't know, 6 days, a week. Okay, so here we go. Pen de maracas. Right on. There we go. What have we got? Look at that, hey? Completely mixed in. Nice and thick. Thick enough for me because of the butter beans. And just a bit of oil. Oh, it's cut the top edge of the intense acidity because of the amount of lime and lemon juice. But good enough for me. So look, that's pretty good. This amount of oil for this much lemon juice and the butter beans. It's probably an 1/8 oil, not a 1/10. Okay guys, there it is. the Quorn's butter beans, lemon, minimal oil, kick-ass salad dressing with the heat of Dijon mustard, chili, and a shitload of garlic. Okay, well, I hope that you enjoy this. Maybe it's something that you will experiment with. The garlic, as I said, that's one of the staples that I use. So I make a huge jar of this. You can imagine how much garlic it takes to make a whole jar of this. But then it keeps in the fridge, lasts until I run out. Then I make another one. Alright guys, that's me. Peace out.